Alright, what's going on? It's your boy, Young Player. You know, I'm here today to talk about, Dragon Ball Z Super and everything. And I just want to let everybody know, I've been watching it, I've been looking at a lot of other YouTube channels and everything. And I gotta say, I took some serious thinking, but I actually have a theory. Now, I'm just another YouTuber, just another fan, not, I might not know, but I truly believe my theory is 100% accurate, and I'm going to explain. Just simply me talking. I don't have all the graphics and everything, but I will explain Goku Blacks' true identity. A lot of people were confused, like how is Goku and Zamasu's Kai similar? And then we all know on one of the episodes, Weez and Beerus, they had their theory, which a lot of you guys, kind of didn't agree with from the beginning. But if you actually think about it, our first initial was Zamasu is Goku. That's what they were throwing, and then we a lot of us fans wise kind of switched up, saying there's no way, he created them, everything. There's just no way. Their cars are similar, but it's Goku, and I'm up to date on the episode, just to let you guys know. I watched episode 59, and I've thought about all of the pieces now, and I want to say, here's what I think. Listen. Everyone thinks there are two Zamasus. There's the future Zamasu that ascended down from the heavens, that assisted Goku Black while he was fighting Vegeta and Goku and Trunks. Right? Everyone thinks that's the future Zamasu. And then we don't know who Black is because we just know he has similar Kai to him. Now, we think about it. No, it's not. The Zamasu that is aiding Black, that is not the future Zamasu as the series states. I'm telling you now, that is not the future Zamasu. That is Zamasu, but it's not the future. That's not the one Goku fought, and then he just into the future he came. That's not him. In fact, I'm going to tell you, there aren't two Zamasus. There are a total of 3 Zamasus that we're dealing with in the series. And I can back it up. I'll back it up by telling you this. Okay, I'll start off with why I say there's 3 Zamasus. Okay. Goku Black is Zamasu. I'm telling you guys now. He is in fact Zamasu. Throughout the whole anime and everything, they were giving us facts, but it wasn't enough to really back it up, as we always question why. But I'm telling you, Zamasu is Goku Black. And this is what happened. That Zamasu has one of the Batara earrings, of course. He also has the time ring. Okay? This Zamasu still had Guwasu as his, his master and everything, his Kaioshin, basically. Zamasu was always curious and everything about, good, evil, and everything. Well, basically, Guwasu, it's like an unseen timeline also. And we know in the Dragon Ball Z series that there's been the 3 timelines, as Trunks, the Cell, and then like the unseen, the unseen timeline. So it's kind of like that unseen. Basically, Zamasu was doing the same thing with Guwasu, curious about things good and evil. Guwasu was still the Kaioshin and everything. He gave Zamasu one of the earrings, the Potara earrings, and a time. We never seen this, of course, but this is inferred. I believe Gowasu gave Zamasu one of the Batara earrings and a time ring. But instead, in this time, Gowasu trusted Zamasu enough to let him find the answers out for himself without actually being there. So that being said, he trusted him to go, in time to look around and everything, to see for yourself how things, people, humans, act and revolve in time to become the next Kaioshin, to be a better one. He trusted him enough to go on his own. Bam, that's Zamasu. Now what happened was, Zamasu actually did that. Now he has one earring on, and he has a time ring because Gowasu is still alive. He didn't kill him. No, he didn't kill this one. No. What he did was he actually did go looking for those answers for his curiosity. Okay, he actually did. Now, upon him going to different futures, of course the time rings let you go to different timelines. What happened was Zamasu actually, as he was viewing, he actually came upon the timeline where Goku was alive and met the god of destruction that we all know and everything. That's what happened. And I'm inferring this the same way as in one of the episodes, Gowasu actually took Zamasu and they viewed those dinosaur humanoid things. It's kind of the same thing. Zamasu did that on his own though, without Gowasu being there. So basically now, he happened to come across Goku. Bam. Without anybody knowing that Zamasu was actually viewing Goku and another version of Zamasu, and he actually viewed them. He saw Goku, his power, and everything. He was actually still frustrated, that a human would raise their fist to one of the gods. He watched the whole thing. He was focused on Goku's power and everything. And surprisingly, that's where, off of their timeline, where Goku was at, with Beerus and all them, that Zamasu actually heard about the Super Dragon Balls. Not only that, he actually was watching. You could say it was kind of like the God too. I believe that's kind of just a reference that they're able to look in on things. Now, he actually watched more of this timeline with Goku and was very interested in his power. And then he heard about the Super Dragon Balls. Next, what I believed is that he actually, viewing that whole time, he fast forwarded again and he saw Zamasu die. Eventually, by his acts or whatever you want to kind of say, he actually saw Zamasu get defeated. He was just a spectator, the same way Wiz and them, they were just like spying. He was kind of doing that. So basically, that Zamasu, then he has a time ring. He hears about the Super Dragon Balls, and he's now, he's wondering about Goku and everything, how strong, how a human can have that much power. This is what happens. He has the idea for the plan and everything. They're just to get rid of all the humans. They're not worth it. What he does is then he goes to another timeline. He's continuing. He viewed that one, saw the outcome, and he has a good idea, but he goes to another one. He's still, spectating and everything. Then he happens to come across, I don't think he comes across, I think at this moment, when he noticed that Goku raises the fist, it sets him that humans are worthless, that they shouldn't do it, that no humans should exist. I think then his mind, he wonders if there's another place where humans are less. Knowing that, he happens to stumble upon Trunks' timeline, where the humans are almost gone from this timeline due to the androids. Remember, the androids killed a lot of the people, like based on that time. So he just happened to go to another timeline and see that. So now we're in Trunks' timeline. The people, remember, and then Trunks basically say, it's 17 years later, Black just shows up, basically. I feel like he was looking and he found where humans were already gone. So why not just finish them off there, right? So now we're in Trunks' timeline. So Zamasu just happened to go to there because, humans, they're already dead. He has his plan now. I can't believe one human raised a fist, actually defeated another version of me, And now he's thinking, why not just go here? Now we're in Trunks' timeline. This is the timeline where Goku dies. So he has no Goku being dead is important in that timeline, right? Because we're in Trunks' timeline, so you can assume there's a Zamasu and there's a Guwasu as well, right? Because we just went to a whole nother timeline. Goku had nothing to do with it. He's not there. That's when they cross paths. Zamasu, the one that viewed everything, is telling Trunks' timeline, Zamasu, about stuff that's going on. Now, that Zamasu is it seems that Zamasu's always been curious, but he actually had this Zamasu who viewed everything tell him. So neither one of the Zamasus actually fought Goku until, Trunks goes back and then, Black follows him. And it is proof that my theory makes sense is because, in one episode when he first meets him, he's like, I get the honor of finally meeting the prestigious Goku. Well, let me tell you how I got to that point, so I won't confuse anybody. Before he met that Zamasu in Trunks' timeline. They talked. They had to. They had their plan and everything about the Super Dragon Balls. Basically, Zamasu, who viewed everything so far, told that Zamasu, there's a point in time and another time where you died. But he never met Goku, so his Goku was dead, so he never had to worry about it. So him knowing that he died in one of the timelines, he assumed he would use the Super Dragon Balls to wish to be immortal. Now Zamasu, the one who viewed everything, his thing is this: I don't need to be immortal because I seen that I could have Goku's power. He uses the Super Dragon Balls to wish he had the body of the Saiyan named Goku. That he used after he the story, the anime, they may tell you whoever made the wish, but honestly, it doesn't matter who made the wish first. That really doesn't matter, because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. They both, regardless, because he has one of the time rings on. Still, he has a time ring on, and he has the fast forward time. So they took the Super Dragon Balls, made the wish, and then the other one made the wish. Trunks' timeline, Zamasu has no idea of Goku. The Zamasu who turned himself into Black, Goku's body, he actually never fought Goku, like I said, until, Trunks went, as they were destroying Trunks, the rest of Trunks' time, universe, Earth, that's when he went back. And if you guys don't believe me, if you guys, look at the episode, there's proof and within the episodes that back me up. While he was impressed, he was like, I finally get to meet the prestigious Goku, the Son Goku, and everything. So he never got to fight him. That's the first time he actually fought that Zamasu. He fought that Goku. So, as he got pulled back in, he was wondering, how Goku was so strong and everything, that he did train using Goku's body, surpassed that ability. Remember, because he watched him. That's why he wasn't impressed about Super Saiyan Blue. They obviously went back to view that Zamasu again, and he watched everything. he wasn't surprised by the Super Saiyan Blue. He trained himself off of that and surpassed it, or just a different version, because he's not maybe a full, but he just has, so maybe surpassed it in a way and everything. But that's basically what happened. So now that Goku is like Zamasu. When he comes, he's fighting Black. They don't know who Black is. All they see is Zamasu. They think that's the Zamasu from the future, but no. And then I also have a theory why this makes sense too. I mean, it's all the same thing. So then you probably are going to question me, like, nah, that can't make sense or whatever. But think about it. Now Zamasu turned himself to Goku Black. Now you have Trunks as Zamasu, right? He made the wish after Zamasu had told them. Those two made the wish, right, to become one of them. That Trunks' timeline, he became immortal. That's Zamasu, right? Bam. Where's the God of the Destruction in Trunks' timeline? We know from facts and everything there is no God of Destruction. Why? Because now that Zamasu, the one based off Trunks' timeline, is immortal, while Black was handling the business of killing off the people. Why didn't we just see Zamasu until then? Until when Trunks, Vegeta, and Goku came back. Because he was handling his own business. Now that him being immortal, he went up. It said like he descended to heaven. That's what a lot of people said. He just came, like, he basically, he like descended, like that's his time and everything. He came. You know why? Because that Zamasu does become the Kaioshin, because with his immortal body, he kills Guwasu. So now he is the Kaioshin, which technically killing the Kaioshin kills the God of Destruction of Universe 10. Basically, that's what it is. So now, and that's why you see the future. We think it's the future Zamasu, but it's not. That Zamasu has both of the Potara earrings. There's no need for the time rings because he already has an immortal body, thanks to the other Zamasu who turned his body into Goku. There's no point of him having the rings. He's already using his rings. They've already made the wish, and that's why he says you should have wished for an immortal body as well. He's like, you didn't see Goku. I've actually watched Goku and how strong he's become. So me just wishing for his body is more than enough. And he supports that by saying that. And those are his words. Like, not exact words, but you get the gist. So I want you guys to know, I came up with it, but I strongly believe there are 3 Zamasus. Now, the Zamasu in the past and everything, his plans, he had to kind of switch it up, being introduced with Goku. He was still fascinated, shocked, and surprised. So it was going to probably have a different outcome. His idea probably was what Whis and Beerus were suggesting, that he was going to steal the time rings, kill Gowasu, steal the time rings, make a wish for the Super Dragon Ball. He probably was going to do something like that. But I'm telling you, and it all makes sense. Now you guys know why Black has Zamasu's ki, his Kai, and everything, because he is Zamasu. Like, that's what we all were saying from the beginning, but then they were kind of trying to make us fall off of it. And if you think about, like I said, go back to Dragon Ball Z, it's not the first time where we had 3 like timelines. They've done it again. And next week when the episode comes out, I'm pretty sure that's how they're going to play it off. If I'm completely wrong, then I'm completely wrong. But to me, that is a real good theory. And you guys could really look up into it, back it up. So just to sum it up, the Zamasu we think is the future Zamasu of the present one is not. That is the Zamasu of Trunks' timeline. He met with a Zamasu from a different timeline. Basically, he met with a Zamasu from a different timeline who Gowasu trusted him, the earrings and everything. But now that he had his body, I mean, Gowasu really couldn't do nothing. If he was all that power, if he had the power of Goku, there was nothing he could do. He's just keeping him alive in order to use it. I mean, I don't know why. I mean, kind of know why, because he already has what he's wished, so he's not necessarily he doesn't need to be a Kaioshin, because he has. Remember, they was like, we're kindred spirits, That's what the other Zamasu said. But that's basically why there was no real point to kill that Gowasu. For one, he's probably held captive. I don't think he's dead, because if he's dead, then he could take both of the earrings, but he only has one, meaning that he left Gowasu alive. He's just captive somewhere. The one from Trunks' timeline, after he attained the immortal body, like I said, he went up there, handled his business. All this time with Black was destroying, fighting Trunks and everything. Didn't come back down until those three came to Trunks' time, future. So that's when he descended back down. And he was like, he got a chance to, fight Goku too. But Goku, none of them know it. But I'm telling you, that's what it is. It's 3 Zamasus. Now you're thinking, and that's why Trunks had a feeling, are you sure they're dead? Or whatever. Beerus was like, yeah, they would die from, once a God Destruction makes that and everything. But it was kind of too late. For one, because Zamasu already looked ahead of that and prepared for that. He knew that he was going to die. Or another version was him going to die. Told that Trunks' timeline, Zamasu. I'm just, telling you guys so you get it. Bam, he has a time ring. They made a wish. Zamasu doesn't know Goku, so he wished for a mortal body. You're telling me that there's a possibility that there's somebody out there that can defeat me, in another timeline. He may not, he's dead in my timeline, but just the thought of that scares me. If we're trying to create this no humans plan, I'm just going to wish to be immortal. You should do the same thing too. No, that Black seen Goku's power. He thinks that's more than enough. And that's why they have that relationship, as he technically is the Kaioken. The Kaioshin, I'm sorry. Got Kaioken. But anyway, yeah, so this Masu is not the future to the past of Masu. That's a whole, they're totally separate. That is, Trunks is Zamasu in his timeline. That's him. Right, okay? So, I mean, that's how it works out. And you guys don't believe me, go back it up. And if you actually sit and you think about it, that makes sense to a really good theory. I really think that's going to do it. But I want to thank a lot of you guys on YouTube channels. I listened to you guys, you gave me some insight, and I just came up with my own theory. It's 3 Zamasus, one of them did die, so we ain't got to worry about the one and Goku because he's gone. But you still got to worry about the one from the alternate timeline who witnessed all that. Made the wish of Super Dragon Balls for Goku's body. He went to Trunks' timeline where the humans are already dead. Started wiping them off. He contacted that Zamasu, told him, the order could have been flipped. That Zamasu could have made the wish first. Most likely he did, because he said you should have wished for a moral body too. But I mean, it could either or. The order, whoever made that wish, it doesn't matter to me. If you think about that, doesn't matter. That's kind of irrelevant. They both made the wish. We can get that. He said you should have made the wish for a mortal body. He doesn't need that. He has Goku's body. That's Zamasu. His Goku's dead. He didn't even view. He didn't speculate. That's all I'm saying. So, hope I get some views. I'm not a big YouTuber like that and everything. I just thought I'd share my opinion. I'm a fan. So, I honestly think that's what's going to happen next week. And I'm dying to find out. Young player signing off, Thanks.